What's up guys, welcome to Season 1, Episode 10 of the MKWii series. Yeah, it is time for the final episode of the first season, as every season obviously is gonna consist of 10 episodes. And yeah, as always, we're gonna be playing 16 completely random custom tracks from MKWii, which is over 4,200 tracks. And we will rank all of these 16 tracks from worst to best at the end of the video. So we're gonna kick off this episode with Mario Runway. By the way, this track is right next to Mario Party 8 Circuit, so we actually almost started with a track by me. Anyway, though, this is looking quite interesting. Is that a plane? Is this track set on like a plane runway? I'd guess so. Yeah, it definitely looks like it. That is very interesting. Seems like the track has more of a simplistic shape because of that. Okay, it seems like the plane despawns when we get too far away from it. That's the case with any object, but it's more noticeable with objects that are this big. Hey, there's another one. But it's already gone too. Interesting track. Is this a King Boo Gaming track? I mean, usually they have more vehicles, but this could easily be a King Boo Gaming track. Yeah, obviously this track is just quite simplistic. There's not really that much to it. And at least so far, the planes haven't really affected the race at all. Because there's just so few of them. Like, most of the time, you don't even see them. We've definitely had way worse tracks, though, that's for sure. Okay, over there is a smaller plane. Does it have a hitbox? It does. Okay, that's good, I guess. The CPU is also trying it out. I haven't figured out yet if the big plane also has a hitbox. Problem is, I don't see it anywhere. Yeah, the big plane is actually surprisingly hard to find, because I need to be, like, really close to it. Definitely an interesting start. Not what I expected. Also, we're about to get blued. It doesn't matter. We have a big lead. Alright, so that's our first track completed. And this one is going to get 2 stars. I mean, yeah, it's just a typical 2-star track. It has a simplistic layout. It's pretty empty. There's not really that much going on. So, yeah, but it's definitely not bad. So, it's definitely not a 1-star track. So, yeah, it's a pretty simplistic track to start with, I guess. Okay, then, let's move on to our second track, which is going to be Daisy City Raceway. Okay, this looks very interesting. I'm not really sure where this track is set. I think it's like outside of these buildings. It seems like we just got a road going around the buildings, I guess. Definitely an interesting concept. Wait, that's a cannon? That is random. Ooh, we got a big ramp. So far off to a fine start. But once again, it seems to have a rather basic layout, definitely. Like right now, we're just driving through like a massive turn. And after that, it seems like we may have a massive straightaway. So yeah, it's once again a relatively simplistic track. But I'd say it has slightly more going on than Mario Runway. Is the cannon trickable? It's not. Okay. Interesting that they put a cannon there. You don't see that too often. Wait, is that an item box up there? How can you get that? Surprisingly, this track isn't actually that long. How can you get this item box? Or is that just misplaced or something? I'm very confused by that. Because I guess if you jump over those houses, you're probably getting counted out of bounds, right? I didn't see a road on the other side. Well, it's too late to try out now. Alright then. Wait, you can skip the cannon? Wait, that's so random. My CPU accidentally skipped the cannon there because he hopped over the boost panel. That is very interesting. Pretty much an intentional time loss. Anyway, that aside, this track is gonna get 2 stars. I'd say this one is actually borderline between 2 and 3 because it's like not bad at all. It's like actually quite solid. But I would say the big turn and the big straightaway make this track drag on a little bit, even though it's not super long. So I'd say that's like the main reason for this to get 2 stars. The rest of the track is fine. Alright, let's see if the third track will maybe get a higher rating. So track number 3 is gonna be... I don't know how to pronounce that. Oymyakon Acropolis? That has got to be one of the most interesting names that we've seen so far. Okay, this looks pretty interesting actually so far. Okay, yeah, this actually looks quite good, not gonna lie. Curious about the gameplay. Is this a Koza track? I'm getting Koza vibes right now. Usually Koza track names aren't this crazy. You'd expect this kind of track name from Epic Crossover. But I know that this is not an Epic Crossover track because I've ranked all of them. And this obviously wasn't one of them. This track actually is pretty good so far, not gonna lie. The start was a bit slow paced, but right now it's like actually starting to like really pick up on the pace. Seems like we even get a cannon at the end. Yeah, honestly, this is a pretty dang good track. I'm not gonna lie. Got some cool objects too. We have a thrump right there. I wish that was trickable. That should definitely be trickable. And I think there's like another one of those too. Yeah, right here. Those should definitely be trickable. But like, that's pretty much my only complaint. The rest of this track is very good. I really like this track. Visuals look nice too. Looks very Koza, as I said. So I wonder if this is a track by Koza Sakura. I feel like this track is kind of forgettable though. I feel like it might lack some visual variety maybe. Because like the only section that looks really distinctive is like the outside section. The rest of the track looks like pretty similar. But like gameplay wise, this is definitely a great track. That's for sure. Alright, so that is it for this track. I'd say this one's definitely borderline between 4 and 5 stars. I'll give it 4 stars. It's a very, very good track. It looks good visually and has great gameplay, but it just feels kind of forgettable and it's not really the most interesting track, you know? There's not really anything that gets me super excited about it. But yeah, it's a very, very good track and definitely the best one of today's video so far. Alright, so we move on to the 4th track, which is going to be Dance Macabre. Okay, very interesting skybox. I'm not really too sure what to expect of this. This could really go either way. Oh wow, this looks interesting. Do I know this track? No, I don't think so. I think there's a track that looks very similar to this one, but I don't think I know this track in particular. It looks pretty good so far actually, and the gameplay isn't bad either so far. Got like a bit of an outside section and an inside section. We got some holes in the ground there. Oh, we can trick off those. I thought for a second I was supposed to avoid them, but I guess not. We have a little bit of a split pathway here and there's a star on the ground, so we'll get that. Yeah, this is honestly a pretty good track, I'm not gonna lie. Like the visuals are maybe a little bit empty, but gameplay wise, this track is definitely very good as of right now. It's actually kind of short. I know right now it doesn't seem like it's short because I'm getting screwed over, but like the first lap didn't take that long to complete. Let's maybe not lose to the CPUs for once. We've done that way too many times in this season. Let's use the star. Let's get another item and let's just pass everyone. Yeah, that's how we do it. Okay, nice. Wait, okay, that was kind of close. That blue shell was a little bit of a jump scare. Anyway, this track is very, very good actually. I really like the gameplay on this one. It's definitely another borderline track between 4 and 5 stars. I think I'm still gonna give it 4. Like the last one, I don't find it super interesting or exciting to play. The last section I would say is definitely the track's highlight because it's quite distinct from most things that I've seen. The rest is not that spectacular, so I wouldn't say it's quite enough for 5 stars, but it's a very good track obviously. Alright, so now it's time for track number 5, which is going to be Misty Caveway. Okay, I am a little bit confused by these visuals right now, but this looks very interesting, definitely. We got a lot of fog here. Alright, definitely an interesting look. I like that we're driving through like some vines right there. So far off to a good start actually. Ooh, we got some mushrooms here. Time for my mushroom track bias to kick in. That is actually pretty cool. The mushrooms leading into the turn provides for some tech. Yeah, honestly, gameplay wise, I'm really enjoying this so far. We got more mushrooms. Yeah, honestly, this track is pretty awesome so far. The textures do give a bit of old CT vibes, but otherwise, I'd say right now this is very good. I like the track's length too. I like when tracks have like a little bit of more complicated tech. That's actually one of the main reasons why I really like Mushroom Peaks, unironically speaking. Yeah, honestly, this track is really good. Like, it doesn't have the strongest visuals, but like the visuals aren't bad either. It's just that the textures are like a bit 2013, I'd say. But otherwise, this is definitely a banger. Okay, and I'm just falling off again. I'm not supposed to suck on mushroom tracks. Come on. Am I gonna lose to the CPUs on this one? Probably. Unless Dixie maybe falls off. Oh yeah, by the way, I didn't mention this, but we're actually playing custom characters once again. But yeah, we lost to Dixie Kong. It's fine. Yeah, honestly, I think this is an obvious 5-star track. I'm not gonna lie. Like, visually, this wasn't the best of the best, but the gameplay here was actually very, very good. I really enjoyed the gameplay on this one. Maybe it's because of my mushroom track bias, but I don't care. This is definitely a 5-star track. There's no way I could not give this 5 stars. Yeah, extremely good track right there. The track quality is definitely going up right now. The last 3 tracks were all very solid. So now it's time for track number 6, which is going to be Familyside Townville. Okay, pretty interesting so far. The intro cam seems to be very focused on just the drivers and not the actual track itself. Texturing looks interesting here. Is this another Koza track? I don't think so, no. Wait, is that a shortcut? Yo, that was actually kind of cool. That was unintentional. I just got bumped by the CPU. Honestly, off to a good start with this track. I like that we already have an interesting shortcut right at the start. Not the most interesting visuals, but the gameplay here is delivering so far. That shortcut can definitely be taken a bit better though than what I did. Alright, let's try to take the shortcut successfully now. We'll go like this. Okay, nice green shell. Maybe I could have done it without the green shell. We'll never know. Putting my skill issue aside though, I'm really enjoying this track. This is a great track. Everything here just works very nicely, I'd say. Definitely a banger. So yeah, that's already it for this track. It's kind of short. I'd say this is another track that's kind of borderline between 4 and 5 stars. I will once again do 4, because like if we compare it to other tracks that I've given 5 stars, I don't think this one is quite as strong. It has some very nice gameplay, but it's like not the most interesting, I'd say. And yeah, I'd say the one shortcut is pretty cool, but otherwise it's just a pretty standard fun track, which, you know, is what most 4-star tracks are about. So yeah, once again, another very nice track. Okay, then let's move on to track number 7, which is going to be Waluigi's Choco Factory. I'm pretty sure I know this track, right? Let's see. Oh yeah, I'm pretty sure I know this track. Yeah, I've definitely seen this one before. This is such a banger. I haven't played it yet, but I think I've seen it on YouTube. And yeah, this just looks so good right now. Easily the best visuals that we've seen today so far. Let's see if the gameplay is gonna deliver, but I have very high expectations here. We're definitely off to a good start. I like this starting position. It's like quite unique. And then we head into the factory. So far so good, definitely. Yeah, we got some very nice ramps right here. I like how we have like a chocolate kind of lake right there. That looks very cool. That's something that you don't see very often. Okay, this section is actually a bit narrow, but that's fine because it's like not that hard to navigate. I like these objects. Are they custom objects? I need to check that out again next lap. It looked slightly different from the Toad's Factory things, I think. These last 5 tracks have all been very strong. I mean, last video had Glacier Mine, which was like insane. But this video, so far at least, we've had like a lot more consistency with the great tracks. And yeah, those are definitely custom objects. Whoever made this track clearly put a ton of work into it. I think the thing to the left right there is a shroom shortcut. But we didn't get shrooms throughout the race, so I guess we won't be able to take it right here. It's fine. I think we get a good impression of this track. Alright, so this track is easily gonna get 5 stars. Honestly, one of the best that we've played in the series so far. I have like no complaints about this one at all. This has a very strong layout, very strong visuals, nice objects, custom objects at that. And yeah, this is just such a banger and obviously an easy 5-star track. Alright then, it's time for the last track before the halfway point, which is going to be Tumbleweed Traverse. That is another track that I know, and that's because it's a CT Jam winner, and I actually ranked every CT Jam winner a while back. And once again, this track is keeping up the theme of this pretty strong lineup right now, because yeah, obviously this is another very strong track. Most CT Jam winners are, which should be a no-brainer, of course. So yeah, this is a track that I'm familiar with. I've played this one multiple times for the CT Jam ranking. I really like the way the water looks here. It's pretty cool. Though one thing that I already pointed out in the CT Jam ranking is that there isn't any tumbleweeds on this track. The name is literally a scam, bro. This cave section, I would say, is definitely the weakest part of the track, because like it's just a bunch of left and right turns. The rest though is very, very solid, that's for sure. There's not really much more to say because I've played this track multiple times in the past, so there's not really that much new to point out. But yeah, I like this track. I believe this track is based off another CT Jam winner, which I believe was called Sonoran Canyon. So it's quite cool that we have like a CT Jam winner based off another CT Jam winner. Not the only time that happened, actually. We also have Drip Drop Cavern and Drip Drop Den, for example. Honestly, the CT Jam ranking was one of the most fun videos to make, because like every CT Jam winner is like really interesting and distinct. Like even the ones that I ranked the lowest are like very good for the most part. So yeah, that was definitely a very, very fun video to do. The CT Jam winners since the ranking have not disappointed either. Like they've been incredible recently. Anyway, I didn't really talk about this track much. It's obviously a very good track. It looks nice visually, has good gameplay, and we can also go on top of these houses, by the way. I didn't really get to show that off before. So this track is another one that I would say is definitely borderline between 4 and 5 stars. In the CT Jam ranking, I believe I gave this an 8 out of 10, which would be 4 stars. But honestly, I think I'm gonna switch it up and give this 5 stars. I would say this one does fit those more than the 4-star tracks so far. Like, aside the cave section, I would say the gameplay here is definitely delivering enough for 5. This is just a really fun track, and it looks good visually, and it's a good CT Jam winner. It's a good track. I'd say it has enough for 5 stars. Alright, so now we've reached the second half of the video, and track number 9 is going to be DS StaffRoll Course by Nanoman6666. Interesting. interesting. We already had DS Test Circle before, and I guess now we have another rather hidden DS track. Okay, this certainly looks like something. Oh, I know what this is. Isn't the StaffRoll like kind of 2D-ish? And yeah, you just drive in a circle. I guess this is DS Test Circle but bigger. It's also textured in a way that you'd be able to see the textures from like the inside of the circle. Obviously, there isn't really a lot to this track. This is definitely not as strong as most tracks that we've played today. Okay, I should have known that the wall had collision. Okay, thank you for that. How the hell am I getting bumped so far? I'm freaking Wario. Oh, I guess I'm charging Chuck. Maybe that's why. Yeah, I just switched to the third character roster. We get Boshi in first to bump me off brutally. Yo, we have the Bruiser. That's actually one of my favorite Mario enemies, I'm not gonna lie. And yeah, that's it for this track. I'm gonna give this one 2 stars. It's similar to the first 2 tracks that we've played. Obviously, a very simplistic layout, even more so than the first 2 tracks that we've played in this video. But it's also not a bad track, so definitely not 1 star. I would say 2 stars does fit this track the best. Okay, then we move on to our 10th track, which is going to be Swamp Temple Ruins. Okay, this is looking interesting so far. I like these like Bowser Castle trees right there. Yeah, this is a pretty cool visual style, I'm not gonna lie. The textures do give a little bit of like 2013 vibes again. Oh, but the minimap looks really interesting. I am very curious to see what the gameplay will be like here. It definitely seems like this track will have multiple different split pathways. Okay, I went too far to the left. Wait, that's not out of bounds? I guess that's a shortcut. I guess that's interesting. And what do we get here? It's another shortcut, this time shroomless. That is very nice. It seems like this track does not lack in shortcuts. We have another one over here, but I slowed down for like no reason. So I guess that's a skill issue on my end. Ooh, the respawn is harsh, dude. Let's try this. Hey, that's actually pretty easy. This track definitely doesn't lack in shortcuts, and I like that a lot. It's slightly confusing though at some sections. That's like a little bit of an issue right now, but maybe it will get better on like lap 2, you know? There's only 2 laps, by the way, which is great because this track is not short, and it's nice to see that not every track of this length is 3 laps, because there is a lot of tracks that are. Oh, you can go down there. No, I missed that. You know what? I want to do that. And you can also go to the left. I won't be able to go all 3 pathways because this track only has 2 laps, but yeah, that is a very cool concept. It seems to be shroom based though. Alright, we got some catching up to do. Wait for me, CPUs. What do we got here? Oh, apparently nothing. I'm gonna take this shortcut again, because I need to catch up still. Quite a lot, in fact. This is an amazing track, I'm not gonna lie. Some sections are actually surprisingly empty, but at the same time, there's like a bunch of really cool shortcuts. So, I would say this is a bit borderline between 4 and 5 stars. I am gonna give this one 5 stars, because I think the gameplay here definitely is interesting enough for 5. Yeah, as I said, the main selling point of this track is definitely the shortcuts, and they deliver. There's a lot of good shortcuts here. I really like the tech that this track goes for. This is a very, very strong track, that's for sure. So let's check out our 11th track for this video, which will be Grass Loop. We haven't really had the best history with grass tracks so far. We've had Grass and Cannons, we've had Grassy Road, and I guess now we have Grass Loop. Let's see if this one will be better than the previous 2. Okay, so far this is honestly not looking bad. Actually kind of interesting. We seem to have a big jump over a pretty big gap. Seems like we got a bit of a square shape for this track. We've definitely had a fair share of square tracks before, that's for sure. This one seems to be relatively large scaled. Seems like we got a bit of a shroomless shortcut here with a chain jump guarding it. Pretty cool idea, but it seems kind of easy, to be honest. This track could maybe need a downscale. It's definitely not a bad track so far. I would actually say it's fairly fun actually so far. And it feels less empty than some other tracks that we've played today. Okay, apparently if you go off the side of the ramps, you don't get a boost. That is pretty interesting. That is not very common on CTs. Very interesting to see. But yeah, this track is honestly solid. Like, obviously it has a very simplistic track design, but it's actually like kind of enjoyable. So yeah, this track is gonna get 3 stars. I think it's slightly better than the 2-star tracks that I've played so far. It has a simplistic track design, sure, but I would say this one is more enjoyable and more interesting. It can actually make for some fun races, I feel like. So yeah, I feel like 3 stars does fit this the best. Alright, then our 12th 12th track is going to be SMB2 Lovely Heart Ring. That is a very interesting name. I guess we got a track based on Super Mario Bros. 2. Let's see if it's the American Mario Bros. 2 or, you know, the Lost Levels. Okay, this looks like neither, to be honest. Is this based on Super Mario Bros. 2 at all? Or does this stand for something completely different? I guess this is just a heart-shaped track. Are these half pipes? No, they're not. But it seems like it's not really possible to fall off this track. Yeah, even if you try to. I mean, yeah, this track seems quite simplistic once again. It's really short, actually. Probably the shortest track that I've played today so far. Of course, the shock comes right before the blue shell, and I'm getting comboed. Alright, well, obviously we're not winning this one. Okay, and I'm about to... Okay, I'm just getting comboed again. We're literally getting 10th. Nice. That was a very random track. I'd say because of how short the track was, like, it was just over a bit too quickly, so I would say this one gets 2 stars. It could have maybe been a borderline between 2 and 3 if the track was, like, slightly longer, because I feel like this one went by a bit too quickly. But it's definitely not a bad track, so definitely not 1 star. But yeah, not really the best track that we've played today so far. Okay, so it's time for our final 4 tracks, and track number 13 is going to be Fr33ze Circuit, with the E spelled as threes, I guess. Wait, that's actually so stupid. Okay, wait, this is not what I expected this track to look like. I don't see anything ice related here. This just looks like a regular grass track. Now I'm confused. And it seems like this track has a loop similar to DS Rainbow Road. Let's see how functional this one is. Honestly, it's pretty good. It seems like we'll get another shorter track here, but this one is 5 laps actually. 5 laps is definitely good for that length. And yeah, this track seems fine so far. It actually seems a bit small scaled, but honestly, that's not much of an issue. And we can go in here, it seems like. Oh, we got like an item box here. Is that a special item box? Let me check it out. It's a shroom box. Okay. Wait, that's a TC? Are TC item boxes a thing? 1 second. Let me check it out again. It shows... Oh, it's a shroom or TC item box. I see. Well, that's actually really interesting. The rest of the track seems quite simplistic, but honestly pretty fun. And I like the loop. The loop works pretty dang well. Okay, well, that was just weird. I don't know what happened there. I guess going through it shocked isn't quite as functional. But yeah, honestly, this is pretty solid. It's just short and kind of lacks in like shortcuts and stuff, you know? So I think I'll give this one 3 stars. It's a pretty fun track, actually. It's just like pretty simplistic still. But I do like the alternate pathway at the end that provides you with that special item box. I would say this one's definitely a 3-star track. 3 more tracks to go. Track number 14 is going to be Bananaland. Okay, we don't really see much of the track yet. We just see the skybox, which looks like a skybox. Not really sure what to expect from this one so far. Okay, this does not really look like bananas, but I guess we'll see what the gameplay here will be like. Oh gosh, this is underscaled. What the hell? This track is certainly something. This track is very interesting so far. This is one of the smallest scale tracks that we've played so far. This rivals that one Smash stage that we played a while back. The CPUs are gonna destroy me on this one, because CPUs don't have much of an issue with sharp turns. They can just cheat and like artificially drift sharper than what's normally possible for a player. I don't think there's any item boxes either, so we won't be able to get any bullet builds or something to help us catch up. The visuals are strange too. I don't really see any bananas here. This just looks like a bunch of grass. Honestly, I could see this being a fine track if it was like at least a bit bigger than this. Okay, you know what? It would have to be a lot bigger than this. I mean, look at how small this track is. Alright, race is over finally. So I think it's pretty clear that this one is gonna get 1 star. It's the typical 1-star track. It's not really functional at all, simply because of how tiny the track is. Layout wise, there isn't really anything to it either. It's just a bunch of left and right turns and elevation changes. Not really anything special going on. And that combined with a small scale, which makes this track very hard to play on Flame Runner, definitely makes this a 1-star track, I'd say. So yeah, unfortunate, but that's how it goes sometimes. Track number 15 for this video is going to be Fire Palace. Okay, this is certainly looking fire so far. I'm curious to see what the gameplay will look like here. Visuals definitely don't disappoint so far. Okay, minimap looks fairly interesting. It seems like we might have some holes in the ground later. So far off to a good start. We got like some pretty cool design choices so far and some great objects too. This is definitely a lot better than the last few tracks already. I am liking this. Okay, nice target shock. Ooh, that lava texture looks really unique. That is one heck of an unusual lava texture. We have another 5-lap track, by the way. That's like the third 5-lap track already. This one seems to be slightly longer than the other 5-lap tracks that you've played. I feel like this one might honestly work better on 3 laps. I think this is a bit too long for 5. But otherwise, this track is great. Okay, I guess we have those fire pillar things from N64 Bowser's Castle right there. Aside the length though, this track slaps. It's really fast paced too. It's definitely one of the better layouts that we've played today. It seems like we might once again lose to the CPUs. Maybe not. Dry Bones failed the power dodge. Let's see. Come on. Oh, we won. I didn't expect to win there, but I guess we'll take it. That was a very strong track. Honestly, I think I'm gonna give this 5 stars. Because, like, honestly, this had a really, really strong layout. I think this would have been even better on 3 or 4 laps. But, like, the layout was, like, very, very enjoyable. So I think it's definitely a 5-star track. And yeah, I guess we'll see what the last track, not only of this video, but also of the whole season, will look like. So, for our final track of Season 1 of the Insane Cat Wii series, we have GBA Bowser Castle 1 by Cats for Life. I think I actually know this track, right? If I'm not mistaken the version, I definitely do. Okay, yeah, this is the version that I was thinking of. In my opinion, this is one of the best versions of GBA Bowser Castle 1. Maybe even the best one, to be honest. I mean, just look at the visuals on this one. This looks very cool. And yeah, I have also played this one before because a very long while back, I did a ranking on like the best version of every retro track, like as of back then. By now, there's been a lot of better versions that have been released. But yeah, back then, I did find this to be the best BC1 version. And I did include this in the ranking, which means that I did play it. In the ranking, it was quite low, but that's just because the standards for the retro tracks are obviously pretty dang high. BC1 is like a fine track. It's very basic, definitely. It's not one of the most interesting tracks layout-wise, but it's definitely not bad either. And I actually like the ending section. But yeah, honestly, this is a pretty good version of BC1, and it's a pretty good way to end off the video, I'd say. And not only the video, but also, of course, the whole season. This is 5 laps, so I guess that's interesting. I don't know, I think for retro tracks, it's usually better to keep them at the length that they were at in their original games. So I personally would put this track at 3 laps instead of 5. I feel like it's a bit too long for 5 laps, or I guess not interesting enough for 5 laps. It's not a huge issue though. This track doesn't really drag on that much. It's just a preference, I guess. Visuals here are obviously really cool. And yeah, we are slowly going towards the end of the last track of the entire first season of the Insane Cat Wii series. And boom, there we have it. So our final track right here is going to get 3 stars. Yeah, it's a very good remake of BC1. The visuals look amazing, but BC1 just has a very basic layout that is not really changed in many ways on this one. So the layout is definitely still 3 stars. The visuals alone would probably be 5 stars. It's a solid track though, and definitely one of the best versions of Bowser Castle 1 from Mario Kart Super Circuit. So yeah, good way to end off this video. Alright, so now that we've played all 16 tracks for this video, it is as always time to rank them all from worst to best. So this time around, we had one track receiving 1 star. So at number 16, we have Bananaland. Up next, 4 tracks received a 2-star rating. So at number 15, we have DS StaffRoll Course by Nanoman6666. At number 14, we have SMB2 Lovely Heart Ring. At number 13, we have Mario Runway. And at number 12, we have Daisy City Raceway. Then 3 tracks received a 3-star rating. So at number 11, we have Grass Loop. At number 10, we have GBA Bowser Castle 1 by Cats for Life. And at number 9, we have Fr33ze Circuit. Next up, 3 tracks received a 4-star rating. So at number 8, we have Familyside Townville. At number 7, we have Oymyakon Acropolis. And at number 6, we have Dance Macabre. Lastly, 5 tracks ended up receiving a 5-star rating, which is actually a lot more than I expected. So at number 5, we have Tumbleweed Traverse. At number 4, we have Swamp Temple Ruins. At number 3, we have Fire Palace. At number 2, we have Misty Caveway. And lastly, at the number 1 spot, we have Waluigi's Choco Factory. So yeah, this episode actually ended up having a fairly decent track selection. It wasn't one of the strongest ones yet, but it wasn't bad at all either. We actually had a very good number of 5-star tracks, and especially Waluigi's Choco Factory was just absolutely amazing. And yeah, as I've said already, this was the last episode of Season 1. So that begs the question, what now? So first off, there will be more seasons after this. So the next proper Insane Car Wii episode will be season 2, episode 1. But before that, I have 2 videos planned as of right now that will pretty much wrap up the first season. And yeah, I can definitely say that season 1 of the Insane Car Wii series was a very fun season. All of these videos had at the very least some very good tracks, and it's really cool to discover so many great new tracks that you haven't seen before. But yeah, I would say that is it for this video. If you guys enjoyed, feel free to leave a like and a sub, and I hope you guys are having a very much wonderful day, and I will see you guys in the next video, and as always, enjoy Wario on drugs.